solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
May it please the court?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, before you is Charlie Lee Sessions. He's currently in jail without bond with the charges of attempted murder, possession of a firearm during a violent crime, and possession of a firearm after the commission of a violent crime. The warrant numbers on those offenses are 2021A 45101, 00031, 29, and 30. He's represented by William Virgil Barr of the Williamsburg County Public Defender's Office. This is their motion to set bond. Bond was denied at the magistrate.
Okay, do you want me to hear the facts from the state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Anderson, will you go ahead and tell me about it, and then I'll have Mr. Barr.
Yes, Your Honor. On January the 21st of 2020, officers responded to 17 Paisley Street in the Hemingway area of Williamsburg County where the shot was fired. They arrived and it was a chaotic scene, but eventually they met with Mr. Jr., who's the victim in this case, and a member of his family. And they described that Mr. Sessions had come to their yard in the nighttime, that there had been a discussion. He approached and expressed his condolences for a family member who had recently passed. They thought it was very strange. They didn't know him. They got in an argument and kind of just asked him to leave. He did not. It further escalated, and then Mr. Sessions fired a fire alarm there in his yard. The bullets, he describes them as he could feel them whizzing past his head. There was a single 9mm shell casing in the roadway, which was in the area where they said Mr. Taylor was doing the shooting. The interviews of the victims are recorded on body cam as well as written statements.
He's been in jail since when?
I have the first 1/5/23 is the date of the arrest. So January of this year.
This incident happened in 2020?
2021. No, 2020. I apologize.
So tell me about from January of 2020 until his arrest in January of 2023, was there an outstanding warrant?
I believe he just had an outstanding warrant. The report's silent other than to say what I just read.
What's the date on the warrant? So what I'm asking is, was the warrant issued?
Yes, Your Honor. It is a 2021. It's a 2021 warrant. It was signed on 1/21/2020.
Signed in 2020, okay.
2021. I'm sorry, 2021.
The warrant was signed in January of 2021.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Barr, I'm glad to hear from you, sir.
May it please the court. Your Honor, we're just as confused as you as far as this case, these charges, the dates. The incident report says 2020. The arrest warrant says 2021. And my client says that right before his birthday, in January of this year, he was arrested. He wasn't attempting to evade. He was, I believe, at his residence. He had no idea about any of this. I don't know if the victims are here, but we are just as confused as I believe the court may be in the chronology of events as far as what happened. Mr. Sessions said that the alleged victim and him were friends. There was a funeral. He went to pay his respects. But he denies any and all wrongdoing as far as connected with shooting or anything such as that. But be that as it may, Your Honor, he's been in detention center since January. He is 48 years of age. He informs me that if he is able to receive a bond, he will live with his older brother, Mr. Fondell Sessions, and they live in Hemingway, 81 Carmichael Road. Mr. Sessions said he was willing to do whatever the court may impose as far as bond restrictions. If that is wearing an ankle monitor, he'll wear 2 ankle monitors. He wants to desperately, he just had his first grandson, a little boy by the name of Carter. And certainly, Your Honor, he's from the Williamsburg County area, and he's been here all his life. So he is not a flight risk. And this was whatever transpired, this was an event between Mr. Sessions allegedly and Mr. Taylor. So we do not feel like he's a danger to the community. Now, Your Honor, he does have a prior conviction, but he has an assault and battery charge, and the state can also correct me if I'm wrong on that. But, Your Honor, I feel as if this may be a case that will need some fact finding, some digging, some initial investigation, and we would ask for, while that is happening, if Mr. Sessions can be allowed to rejoin society, as the facts, as the state read them, it's about a paragraph and a half. The dates are very conspicuous as far as what happened over the last 3 years. And we would ask for a reasonable bond with any restrictions that the court sees fit to impose.
Your Honor, we strenuously oppose bond in this case. The victim's written statements are from 2021. I don't think there's any buzz on the timeline. I can do further inquiries to find out whether he was running or evading law enforcement. It's not in the book. But I don't think he gets credit just because it doesn't say they were looking for him before.
Well, it makes a big difference. If this happened in 2020, and he's sitting in his house and doesn't get arrested until 2023, that means there was 3 years without any further incidents between these folks, without him being arrested. And so that makes a big difference to me on whether he's a danger to this family or any other family, is what was the delay? And if he was sitting at his house for 3 years from the day of this incident, then I need to know, because that tells me apparently there's not any ongoing beef between them that would cause me a lot of concern.
Absolutely.
So I need to know that.
I can make inquiries for you. But to continue our motion in opposition, the defendant has an absolutely terrible criminal history. He has 2 counts of distribution of cocaine in 1992, distribution of cocaine in 1996, distribution of cocaine base in 2000, and an abwick in a possession of a weapon during 2008, and he received a 13-year sentence for that offense. As far as the victim bill of rights, I've reached out to several times, been unable to get them on the phone. Called the officer in the case. He said that he is not able to get them, but he referred me to another officer who is related to them. I called that officer, and he said that he would let them know about court today, and they're not in court this morning.
Can I see the statements?
Yes, Your Honor. All right, an extra copy of his possession of a weapon after committing a violent felony. Do you have that one? It would be ending.
This is fine. What I'm looking at is it looks like the warrant says that the incident happened in January of 2021. The statements appear to be from January 21st, 2021. It's just that one of these, page 1, says 2021, and the next one also says 2020, which I think must be a typo because everything else says 2021. So I guess what I need to know, the delay of 2 years in arresting him, I need to know what the issue is with that.
And yes, Your Honor. Came and whispered some information that may solve that, and I need to get that in my hand before I present it to the court. Can we stand this aside just until later in the morning?
Yeah.
I think what she just told me may solve this, but I want to see it for myself before I present it to the court.
Okay. If we can, we will address this today. Either they'll give me some additional information or they won't, but we're going to address it one way or another today. So if you'll bear with us while we see what other information they provide. Thank you.
Thank you.
Charlie session.
Hey man, how you doing?
Charlie. May it please the court.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, before you is Charlie Lee Sessions. He is pleading guilty today to one count of possession of a firearm or ammunition by a person convicted of a violent felony. He is represented by William Virgil Barr, the Williamsburg County Public Defender's Office. He's waiving presentment to the grand jury today on indictment number 2023. It's got tongue-tied, GS 45-102. The state's recommendation in this case is a 1-year active sentence.
Put your left hand on the Bible and raise your right. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth and help you God?
Is that right, Mr. Paul?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And Mr. Sessions?
Yes, sir.
You waiving presentment to the grand jury of your indictment?
Yes, sir.
Did you talk to your lawyer about that?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Sessions, on this charge here today, possession of a firearm after being convicted of a felony, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Is anybody making you do this?
No, sir.
You doing it freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Recommendation's been made of 1 year. I don't have to follow that. I could give you 5. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Anderson?
Your Honor, this happened on January the 5th of this year. Sergeant Lee and Sergeant Miller were responded to address on Washington Street in the Hemingway area of Williamsburg County. They received a tip that Charlie Sessions, who was wanted by the police on other warrants, was in the area. They had an encounter with Mr. Sessions in that area, and they gave him loud verbal commands to stop and put his hands behind his back and to begin approaching them. He went the opposite direction, avoiding the officers, basically trying to walk away from them and get away from them. It got to the point that they had to pull out tasers and warn him. He ignored their request to comply. They attempted to taser him. He attempted to run off. He falls to the ground. There's a brief scuffle on the ground, and when they pull, you get the handcuffs on him and get control of him. He had a black Smith & Wesson pistol in his front left pants pocket. Mr. Sessions has a qualifying prior violent conviction that prevents him from owning a firearm pursuant to the state. He was convicted of ABWIC back in 2008.
Mr. Sessions, did you hear what he said happened?
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You still want to plead guilty?
Yes, sir.
And are you guilty?
Sir?
Are you guilty of this charge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Barr, any concerns?
No concerns with his plea, Judge. I met with Mr. Sessions. We've had quite a couple of conversations about this plea. First thing we want to do, Your Honor, is thank the state for working with us on this case. There were other charges that, as part of this plea, are being dismissed. And we believe that the offer that the state made and the speed in which they addressed this case, we are very much appreciative of that. Mr. Sessions, Your Honor, he's from the Hemingway area. Everyone knows him, and the people that know him all say good things about him. He's funny. He's a joyful person. He's made a mistake in the past. He got, like most people, like a lot of people do, unfortunately, when he was encountered by law enforcement, he got scared. But the judge, based on his prior record, he was not supposed to carry a gun. And the one thing about Mr. Sessions is he was adamant to me that he had the gun and that was the only thing that he felt that he had done wrong. He wanted to accept responsibility for it. The judge has been in for about 6 months, based on where we are today. That's an approximation, but he's got it minimum at least 6 months time to serve.
And Your Honor, I have his date of arrest as 1. Your numbers are better than mine, Chairman. I trust you. Much
Date
better.
of arrest is which date?
I think I have, but as January the 5th, 2023.
So how many days or months?
She's got this little magic thing on her computer. It's great.
And Judge, as she's calculating that, notwithstanding the offer that the state's made to us, which we, like I said, is a very fair offer, we would ask court to consider, based on the 1 year recommendation, the amount of time he's already done, to potentially consider a time served sentence in this matter.
Your Honor, we request you follow the recommendations to serve at
47 days.
47 days.
147?
Yes, sir.
What's the magic line to go across the waters? We're talking 90 days?
Yes, sir.
90 days.
91 is the
91. I would ask you this, but it's not, I don't think it's proper, because we're not here for underlying charges. It's just for the charge. Are the officers here who arrested him? I can't.
No, I can reach out to him if I'd like to.
Well, did you give him a hard time?
He thought it was pretty good, Judge.
All right, Mr. Sessions, a little tussle with him?
Yeah, I was, thanks, I was scared, but I wasn't, not trying to do that, that's right. But I done did the time, like I said, I got a good job and all the time. A job and everything too. I got a new two grandbabies. I'm scrambling, gonna go work, do the right thing, there, so I ain't coming back no more. Over.
Is this one year 85%, Mr. Van?
I do not believe possession of a weapon is not crime qualifies. You have to have the overlying. That's it.
All right, Mr. Sessions. I do try to show some mercy sometimes.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna give you credit for 147 days served.
Yes, sir.
I know the state would prefer more. I try to save the heavy time to the people who
Yes, sir.
really need an education, like the young man today that had problems giving a drug sample.
Yes, sir.
So that's what you get. You get a country ham. You understand?
Yes, sir.
What's a country ham?
I guess this love, man.
It's what?
Love.
That's close enough. Close enough. All right, learn from this, sir.
All right.
And you're a young man. How old are you?
48,
You don't know about Martha Reese and Vandella, do you?
Martha Reese and Vandella.
Mm-hmm.
Martha Reese and Vandella.
You never heard of them, have
Sound familiar. Oh.
you? Nowhere to run and nowhere to hide.
Nobody went, oh, okay. Okay. Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.